Hello, everybody. Tom Jacoma's Power Networking Club here for a power talk with Brian RASSI, CEO of Instigate. Instigate is a company that helps entrepreneurs with funding. And today is June 10th, 2020. And as you know, we are on the tail end of the pandemic and hopefully the tail end of the race riots and a lot of turmoil. And as a result of all that turmoil, there are millions of small business owners across America who are bankrupt, on the verge of bankruptcy, and desperately looking for help. Brian RASSI is a guy I met a couple of years ago who's been to our expos and has connected with the members and sponsors of the Power Networking Club, helping many of them with funding needs that they normally would not have been able to receive. So without further ado, Mr. RASSI, please tell us more about Instigate.
Oh, great. Thanks, Tom, for having me, first of all. I always enjoy talking to the Power Networking Club and all your followers as well. Instigate was created 4 or 5 years ago, and it was built on the premise of if we make it a lot easier for business owners and entrepreneurs to get the money they need, they know what to do with it. It's just very confusing where to go and when to go get the money. And that's where we kind of bridge the gap and give them the guidance they need to do it in the right steps and not waste their time spinning their wheels. And it's been a very interesting time, hasn't it, over the past 2-3 months with this country, especially when it comes to accessing the money they need and where to go get it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So tell us, what are the most efficient funding sources right now? Is it through the federal government?
I mean, if it was me personally, a lot of our clients, we directed them to put their ring in the hat, their hat in the ring per se, with the SBA.gov website with the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, to get the grant and AKA get an application for the economic injury disaster loan that comes directly from the government. Now, through the CARES Act, they allocated a certain amount of millions and billions of dollars to go to small businesses, and they've been working through that backlog. But if I was a business owner and I didn't put my hat in the ring, I would definitely go to that website and put my hat in the ring, because you never know how fast they'll get through that backlog. And if they have funds available, they should most likely get allocated to get some of those funds. And to give you an idea of why this is so important for them is because these are the best loans on the planet that you can get by the federal government. They are interest rates at like 2.75 to 3.75 interest rates. They can range from terms of anywhere from 2 to 30 years. There's no prepayment penalties. And as long as you were a business that was legitimately a business and you filed tax returns showing that you were a business, you pretty much qualify for some type of economic injury disaster loan, other than if you don't pay your credit or your credit's so bad that they just don't want to give you a loan. But for the most part, most people would fall in this requirement, which is why it's important that they try to do that. Now, with that being said, the second place I would go is to your local bank, to the bank where you have your business checking account. And the reason I say that is they had the second part of the CARES Act was the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP loan, where if you can validate how you spent your money, meaning if you have payroll, if you actually did payroll, they can take that number and give you a certain percentage of that, 2.5 times the amount, and you can get that forgivable in a loan, a forgivable loan, if you use it per the terms of the agreement of the PPP. That's for self-employed borrowers, 1099 people who have side gigs, as long as you can justify that you made money, made $0 or greater if you're a 1099, you will qualify for the PPP. So between those two items, they will definitely help the small business owner because that's what they were determined to do. And I can only tell you from our clients, the optimism that came out of it, meaning when our clients got this money, the comments were like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful. Now I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't have to go down that dark road of bankruptcy. They just needed to know where to go. So this is where you got to go to start. Now, everything else after that, okay, the lenders, the alternative funders, people are starting to wake up and the pendulum's starting to swing back where people want to get back to business. I think that's the sentiment of what's happening out there in the country is people want to get back to business. And that means the lenders want to get back to business. That means the alternative lines of credit, the credit cards, the banks, even the private lenders are trying to get back. They just don't know how much the scope of unemployment's going to affect the market. But I can only tell you with this much liquidity going back into the market to the businesses, it's only a matter of time that the business owners that got that liquidity are going to try to hire people back. Hence why the jobs report went up higher than expected this last month. Hence why the stock market is optimistic and it's going back up. So if I'm going to say anything to the sentiment of the millions of business owners that just don't know where to go, start with SBA.gov, put your hat in the ring for the economic injury disaster loan. Secondly, go to your bank and see what they can do with your payroll, with your tax returns that you filed to see if you qualify for the PPP loan. Then if there's anything else other than that, of course, seek out a professional that knows how to navigate the alternative markets. Even the SBA is going to open back up their traditional loans. They just haven't done that yet. But when they do, there'll be more and more loans coming on market. Now, there's a caveat to that. There's new loan programs that came out with the Main Street lending, and they go through the banks themselves. These are for bigger businesses that need loans of $250,000 to $500,000 up to $25, $35 million. They have new products that came out specifically to address this issue with them. Once again, those you have to go through your local lender as well. That's why I suggest A, SBA.gov, B, go to your local bank that you bank business-wise and see what they can do for you. If any of those things turn you down or they just, for some reason, you don't know where to turn, then you would come to a company like us at this moment where we can help navigate you and try to position you for other alternative lending or other substantial lending vehicles through our private networks and stuff like that.
Excellent. And how do business owners and entrepreneurs reach you? How do they get a hold of you?
Oh, very simply, they can go to instigate.com, instigate.com. They can check us out and schedule a call for one of our agents to actually reach back out to them and talk privately about their situation. And we do that for free. It's a free resource. We want you, it's so confusing out there. Everything's confusing. I promise you, if it's confusing for even someone that's in the industry, let alone someone from the outside looking in with all the other things on their mind, payroll, how they're going to deal with the business changing, the whole environment changing. Can I even open up my store? Do my employees even want to come back? Like, there's so much on people's minds that are taking them away from the focus of getting their business back up and running. We realize that you just might not know there's a slew of options available. So just schedule a call. We'll reach out on a Zoom call, very similar to something like this, privately, talk frankly about what's going on. And I assure you, when you leave that phone call, you will know what's available, what you'll probably qualify for. You'll have a next step on where to go, meaning we won't leave you out hanging on what we would do if I was in your shoes. And I promise you, you'll have a peace of mind, at least knowing that there are possibilities out there for you. There's plenty of them out there for you. You just got to ask for help if you just don't know where to go.
Yeah, that's going to be very comforting for a lot of entrepreneurs to see this video, because I'm sure, I personally know a lot of them who really haven't stepped out of the shadow and into the light of help, right? There's a lot of reasons. There's ego, there's, pride. People, some people just absolutely don't like to ask for help. But this, desperate times, and I'm gonna get a soundbite here for our marketing purposes, but desperate times, call for desperate measures. So people who have never really needed much help before, they really need to get a hold of either SBA.gov, like you said, their bank, their business bank where they do their banking, or, Brian RASSI at Instigate is an expert in helping you to navigate through it all. So feel free to reach out to Brian RASSI at instigate.com. And is there a phone number or email address to go along with that, Brian?
Yeah, they can email info@instigate.com, ENSTIGAT.com, or they can call 833-249-6368.
Excellent. Thank you. Excellent. So do you have any, before we wrap here, any other words of wisdom for our small business community that you can impart on them?
I do. You should look. I want you to walk away from this video like I've always been, is I'm very optimistic about how things are going to progress throughout the rest of this year. I can feel the undertone of the business community, at least through the people that I'm talking to. There's going to be a lot of liquidity that's been flooded this market, which means people are going to be able to spend money and circulate money to get the businesses back up and running. Now it's just a matter of looking through your own eyes, your own lens, and seeing how you can readjust your business to fit the new times that are going on out there. But just know that I've always fought this battle, Tom. I've always fought this battle of people reaching out for help or getting over that substantialness of, I need to do this on my own the hard way. I got to earn my entrepreneurial stripes. This has not been anything new for us over the last 14, 15 years of helping people try to find the right money at the right place at the right time. This is very common. Just know that when you do come to a company like ours, everything's kept in confidentiality. We're only here to try to help and make it a lot easier. So just be rest assured there's stuff available for you. There'll always be stuff available for you if you seek it. If you seek the information, and then you can always make the right decisions from there. So be optimistic about your future. And for those that just know flat out that they've gotten through a bad situation or there's no way they believe they can come out of it, trust me, there are professionals in this field that work directly that keep you out of the bankruptcy realm. They perfected this, where they have certain tools where they can help retain the assets, renegotiate those debts, be able to retain the goods of the business, help negotiate those things out so you can make it through and not put yourself through bankruptcy. I assure you, there are plenty things and ways and methods out here to help navigate the way through this mess, okay? So if you're in that mess and you don't see a way out, just know there are a way out. There is a way out, I promise you. If you come across this video, I promise you there's a way out. We just got to open up the dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to personally send this video to literally hundreds of entrepreneurs. I know a lot of them can contact you. I don't have to be involved in the contact process. You contact Brian RASSI at Instigate directly. It's all confidential. Don't be afraid to ask for help. The website is instigate.com. And I want to end by saying, based on what you just said, the jobs report last week was an absolute affirmation that this is not taking us down. We are, because the economy was so very strong, even though the unemployment surged in March and April, things are really turning around, and Americans are resilient. We are survivors, we are warriors, and we will come out of this like we come out of everything. So stay positive, stay strong, stay healthy most of all. And Brian, I want to thank you for your time today, and I hope that entrepreneurs who need help in navigating funding opportunities will reach out to you.
I appreciate the time, Tom. I really do.
All right, buddy. Well, until next time, we'll see you again.
You got it.
Bye-bye.